Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell true stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between. And my voice has come back, so
Woo-woo!
It's getting there at least. So
It's trying.
It's trying, yeah. I'm a little stuffed up still, but
a little stuffy and a little slurry.
Yeah.
Because we've had some strong iced teas.
yeah, actually, what is it? Because it's super delicious.
I actually don't know the name of it.
Oh,
but
Michelle.
It's like a peach iced tea.
Okay, we'll just call it that. Peach iced tea.
I can look it up
No,
if there's another name for it, but
I like the peach iced tea because that's exactly what it is.
Caitlin contacted me and it was like, bitch, we need to do something other than vodka and gin because that's all we do. So I looked up a damn whiskey recipe, or you also did, except for the first drink you sent me was everything I hate in a glass.
It's everything I loved. We're very opposite.
Yeah, ginger, whiskey, barf. I'm having no part of it. It's probably delicious.
Ginger is so good. Just love it, Michelle.
Hard pass. Anyway,
all right.
So I was like, nah, we ain't doing that. I don't know what I just said, but so we found this Maker's Mark peach tea recipe. The recipe goes, it's 1 part Maker's Mark to a half a part peach schnapps, and then you sort of fill the glass with some unsweetened iced tea. And I just felt like that wasn't going to cut it for us. So
what's our recipe then?
Yeah, our recipe is like 1 part Maker's Mark to like 3 part peach schnapps. Pour a little bit of that in the glass, add perhaps a little bit more peach schnapps, and then fill it with iced tea.
Yeah.
So ours is peach schnapps heavy.
Yeah.
But it's very good.
It's very tasty. Yeah. I think because you can't taste the whiskey. But, I mean, peach tea, it's really good. I love tea and I love peach, so this is a perfect, refreshing, hot summer drink.
It was very refreshing. And if you like the taste of whiskey, as we do not, just keep it to the original recipe. Or just add a little bit more and you're going to be set.
It's all to people's preferences.
Yeah.
To your taste. So
we garnished with a peach and called it good.
yeah. It's really, it's very delicious. So
yeah.
Thank you, Michelle, for...
I haven't really had much to eat for breakfast or lunch.
Some Cheetos.
Some Cheetos. Yeah, I had like 6 of them. So I'm set to go.
Okay. Well, that's...
There's something in my stomach.
There's something.
And
that's
a quarter
good.
of a peach. I ate
Oh,
the
you
rest
ate
of
the
the garnish.
peach? Oh. I didn't even see that. That's
I
hilarious.
ate the rest of the garnish.
All right.
Ready
Should
to
we
kick
get into
it? Yeah. Let's hear your
Okay.
story. I hear it's a little disturbing, Caitlin.
It is, and it's recent, so there's some like updates that are coming up. So, sorry guys, but I haven't done a true crime one in a hot second. I think.
Okay.
And maybe because last week I didn't do it. Did I do a true crime?
I think it was like 2 times you haven't done true crime.
Yeah. Wow.
And I rely on you for
I
all
know.
my true
I'm
crime
so sorry.
news.
Well, this is a what's you call it? A stinger?
I'm unclear.
I don't know what you call it. Okay, whatever.
A sting operation?
No. Just like it's it's like pow, kata, like holy shit. I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, let's rock and roll.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
It's sad. Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
So don't be intrigued.
Yeah.
You
sorry.
dumb bee.
Oh my
You're going to be
goodness.
crying by the end.
All right, let's just fucking get into
I
it.
will have
Sorry.
to say, like, I read mine, and mine is not even super emotional,
That's
and I
good.
was tearing up.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know
Maybe-
if I'm just super emotional these days, but if I cry, I'm just telling you right now.
Okay. We can just blame it on the drinks.
There we go. We blame
Yeah.
everything on the drinks.
That's true.
You mispronounced that or had a completely wrong fact? Drinks.
Well, this survivor's name is Holden White. So
Okay.
I can very much say that very well.
Holden White. Okay.
So it is 2020 and we're in Louisiana.
Okay.
And Holden is 18 years old.
Okay.
And he's on the app Grindr, which, if no one knows, is like a hookup app, like Tinder, but for gay men or bisexual men. You know.
Yeah, it's for men to hook up with men. is
Yeah,
my
pretty
understanding.
much. So he was actually talking on and off with this one guy named Chance for a month. So they were chatting. I mean, it's kind of like people say they find actually like their soulmates on Tinder. I mean, it's not always just for a hookup. You know, sometimes you just really want to meet people.
Sometimes you hook up and also fall in love.
Exactly. Well, Chance is 19 years old, so they're close in age. And Holden said that they had great conversations, and he seemed like he really cared about his life.
Okay.
And
so they had found a deeper connection other than just hooking up.
Exactly.
Have they hooked up at this point?
No.
Or are they still just talking?
They're just chatting. They're just like, hey, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. You know?
My day was awful. My boss sucks.
So it is June 2020. So we're in the pandemic, people. No.
Yeah, don't be hooking up during the pandemic.
But Holden invites Chance over to his apartment. And Chance actually declines. He's like, nah, like, not right now.
I'm still nervous about this whole situation.
Yeah, but a few days later, Chance actually invites him over to his dad's house to play video games. And Holden was like, sure. I mean, yeah, that sounds fine, yeah. So Holden was planning on to meet him at his house, but Chance was just like, no, I want to come pick you up. I want to be a gentleman, you know. I want to come get you.
I'm going to probably regret later my like, oh, he is a gentleman.
Yeah. But he was
He's
old
like,
school.
you are.
Chance actually said that he was going to stop by his house first just to make sure that, you know, no one was home. And then he'll pick him up. And Holden was like, well, I have an apartment. You can just come over to my apartment. He was living by himself, you know.
Okay.
And he was just like, no, next time I want to be at my house. Like, more comfortable, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, it could make sense, yeah.
But the plan is still to go play video games.
Go play video games.
At Chance's dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so on June 20th, Chance picks Holden up at 7 p.m., and Holden brings a bag of, like, PlayStation and some games for them to play. So there's no talk of, like, you know, getting intimate or anything like that. It's just a hangout, you know?
Probably everyone's nervous because it's the first time you've met in person.
Well, that's the thing is, like, once they got back to his house, Holden says it was a very nice house. Like, it was very nice. So, I mean, that's nice. And actually, Chance had, like, towers of Xbox games. So, like, he was pretty well off and such. But the conversation now was a bit awkward. I mean, because, you know, it's first time hanging out. You know, you're in his room, you know.
Yeah, no,
but
I've been in that situation.
Yeah, right. So, Holden actually reaches into his bag to get out his games that he brought. But then, all of a sudden, he feels a cord around his neck.
What?
And then, all of a sudden, he is getting pulled from behind, and Holden is trying to fight back but cannot overcome Chance. So Chance put a cord around his neck.
Okay, like, I knew true crime was coming, but I still was just hoping for a little bit of romance for poor Holden. Like,
right?
It just seemed all so nice.
It happened really fast. It really was.
So it is Chance now choking Holden.
Correct.
With a cord of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Holden blacks out, of course. You know,
gosh.
There's no
oxygen.
Mm-hmm. He wakes up later in the bathtub naked. The water is running and it is super cold. It is freezing. I don't know why super cold seems lame. It's super cold.
Super, super cold.
Oh my goodness.
No. So they just have the cold water just running.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any ice or anything?
Nope.
It's just cold
it's
water.
Just cold water running. So Holden looks at his left wrist and Chance is slicing at it very hard. Basically trying to cut his hand off.
What?
Yeah.
Not just like commit suicide him.
Nope. It is sawing with a knife.
Oh.
Holden is now going in and out of consciousness because of the pain and the blood loss.
Oh my god.
So his memories are like in and out. So this is like from his perspective, of course.
This is a nightmare.
I know. He remembers Chance doing the same thing to his right wrist as well.
Oh my god.
He states the neck was more like the torturing stage. I want to say he was trying to go for the artery, but he missed, and he would take the tip of the knife and was twisting it into my throat each time.
What? Okay, so
Sorry.
I apologize.
Said that really bad. Yeah,
so
no.
he's tried to cut off left hand
and right hand.
And then switched over to right hand.
Correct.
Poor Holden's passing in and out. And now he's like essentially trying to cut his head off?
Well, not head off, but trying to hit his
artery.
Trying to hit the artery so he bleeds out. But he missed 6 times.
Oh my god.
He stabbed him in the neck 6 times.
Oh my god. That's...
And he said that was the most pain that he felt. Of course.
Poor guy is feeling all his pain. Right? All the other people are like, I felt nothing.
Mm-hmm. Another time Holden woke up, he remembers feeling feeling cold and looking down to see the bathtub filled with blood.
Oh my god. So he still has his hands though at this point?
Yes, but they're barely there. He looked up and Chance was just staring at him. He was just staring at me with a fearful look in his face. Like, I just did this look. I was lying in the bathtub, naked, bleeding out, the water red and cold, and I remember thinking, well, this is it. The last words I said to myself were just stay calm over and over in my head, and I was just repeating it to myself to stay calm.
Oh my gosh. I would have struggled to stay calm.
Right? Then Holden went into a peaceful, pitch black space.
Ugh.
It was like a deep sense of peace wash over him.
Oh my god, he's on the verge of dying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening.
He eventually saw a light,
Oh,
and he was just like, I'm going to walk towards the light.
Oh,
Because it was
Holden.
peaceful. I know, oh my gosh. He continued to walk towards this light, and when he got to the light, he actually woke up in the hospital. Mm-hmm.
what?
He was in a coma for 3 days before he woke up.
What? So this whole time he's like heading towards the light.
Mm-hmm. He's
in
actually in a coma. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I just got goosebumps hard.
So I got chills too. So yeah, isn't that crazy like how fast that was? But it was actually over 3 days.
Yeah.
Ah!
I mean, thank goodness for him.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
So when he finally woke up, he was bombarded with questions like,
how did you get rescued? That's my first question.
Well, I'll tell you, but if you knew who he was, where he was, you know, just like...
Trying to like gauge how much you actually remember and... Oh, gosh.
And he was able to answer it. He did know who he was, but he didn't know where he was. Like, of course, you go to like this peaceful, you know, going towards the light and then wake up in a white room, you know, hooked up to machines.
Yeah.
I gotta stop screaming. I keep screaming. I'm so sorry.
I know. I sometimes wonder, am I a woo girl? Is that what it is? Because I'm like, woo!
Are you?
Yeah, every time like, this exciting thing happens, woo!
Oh, I meant in the podcast.
No, I've wooed numerous times in the
okay.
podcast. I'm a fucking woo girl. God damn it.
At least we know that about ourselves. I'm a screamer, you're a wooer. Together, we're a perfect pair.
Woo! Sorry, okay. Back to Holden and his tragic story.
I know, right?
Good Lord.
So he was now at the Lafayette General's intensive care unit. Holden was very lucky to be alive. He suffered from strangulation that actually popped every blood vessel in his face. That's how hard he was strangled.
Oh my god, that is... I can't even hardly imagine that.
No, right?
Oh my god.
The 6 stab wounds to his neck, blunt force trauma to the back of his head, and cuts so deep to his wrists that his hands were nearly sawed off.
Oh
it was close. So Holden spent a whole month in the hospital, and he underwent surgeries and physical and occupational therapies to relearn how to use his hands. Because they had to reattach them, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So he got to go home just before his 19th birthday.
Oh.
Right.
That's hard to hear.
So, according to police records, Chance actually called 911 and told the operator that he just murdered a man and would wait outside for the police.
What?
So, he was arrested and charged with attempted second-degree murder. He had a $250,000 bond and pled not guilty in November of 2020.
Okay, so you call the police and be like, hey, I just murdered this dude. You should probably come get him.
Yep.
I'll be waiting outside for you.
But I'm not guilty.
But not guilty. I see.
So Holden had to... Actually, he learned about this through the media. The court didn't even notify him about the court case in November.
What?
Yeah. So he states...
I'm like, not on Caitlin's watch.
Not on
None of
my
that shit would have happened.
He states, I knew nothing about it. I asked why I wasn't informed of this and was told that there wasn't a need to tell me. This concerns him and it concerns me. This concerns me. This concerns him and it concerns me.
As in me, as in... Oh.
Like, it... This...
Not as in it concerns Caitlin.
No,
She's
no, no.
worried about this egregious, like...
No,
just...
like, this thing... Like, he was a part of this.
So it does, in fact, concern
him. And it concerns me that no one notified me.
Gotcha.
That's... Yeah, sorry. That's what this... That's
We'll
word
get
for
there.
word, you know? It's word for word. But each state has different laws and such.
And
but
where was this again? I apologize.
Louisiana.
That's right.
But in Oregon, we make sure the victim is notified about every court hearing. Every court hearing, either through mail or through an advocate. or both, male and advocate. And we like talk to the victim to see what they want to be seen done. Like they get a voice in the sentence, you know? And
as they should.
They should, exactly. So this
I
really
was
made
the
me upset.
attempted murderee.
Exactly. So this really made me upset. But Holden has found himself feeling much calmer.
I'm telling you guys, I think these drinks are a little stronger than maybe we give them credit for.
I think so, because this editing, this is the first episode Nick is going to learn how to edit.
Oh, good fucking luck, Nicholas.
I'm so sorry. So Holden has found himself feeling much calmer ever since the attack, but frustrated about how the case has been handled so far. So that's really interesting that he feels calmer. I think every survivor goes through something different. He came out more calmer. Like, I've been through such traumatic, so everything else I come against.
Everything else is like, whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
I'm not getting attempted murdered.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's.
How bad can it be?
Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting.
I could see that, though. It's like really sort of digging in what matters in life. And,
like, I'm alive. So me stressing about this test is not going to be, it's nothing.
These little dramas just don't matter as much to me anymore.
Exactly.
I could see that.
So you didn't think law enforcement really
handled his case
it well? No, because they also didn't ask for him to get a rape kit done because he found himself naked in the bathtub. So he got undressed. So he doesn't know if he was sexually assaulted. And that's something that it's hard. Was I sexually assaulted? Like, you never know. You'll never know if you were or not. So, so that what if is always going to be there.
Oh my
How
gosh.
heartbreaking is that?
Yeah, that would be pretty heartbreaking.
And any other injuries, when someone is sexually assaulted, damage, trauma to the body parts, bruises and such like that. So not being able to know what actually happened to you is terrible.
I am surprised about the not doing any kind of rape testing, as you say. I mean, maybe at that point they were just trying to like
save his life.
Yeah, stabilize him and get those hands sewn back on, I'm presuming. But still, like,
it really should have.
In addition to all of that, they should have done the testing, as you were saying.
Yeah. Get some peace of mind at least.
Yeah. Well, and fucking charge the asshole for rape if he raped you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on.
Hold him accountable for all the shit that he did.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you, Caitlin.
I know. So after months, Holden, his friends and family actually wanted to add a charge of hate crime. He believed that Chance targeted him because of his sexuality.
Oh, I actually had wondered that earlier.
Right? He states he could have done this to a woman. Instead, he chose to do something to someone who's gay and proud about his sexuality. Holden looks at his scars and considers them a reminder, not that he was a victim, but that he is a survivor.
Ugh, Holden, good job.
I know. He states, the only time I was a victim was when I was in that 3-day coma. I've come out of this a stronger person. I survived it. I am a survivor.
Damn.
I know. He even got a tattoo on his right hand 5 weeks after the attack. It's a red semicolon, situated between the head and the back of a black arrow. So it's in between an arrow, a semicolon.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So the semicolon tattoo has actually been...
Isn't that sort of a suicide prevention?
Pretty much. The semicolon tattoo has become a common symbol of hope for those suffering from depression, mental illness, or suicidal thoughts. It's been a deliberate punctuation choice an author makes when presented with an opportunity to end a sentence, with the sentence being the symbol for its own life. There we go.
All right.
So actually, Holden still uses dating apps, even Grindr. I mean, he wants to find love and he wants to find connections,
As we all do. I mean,
exactly.
Come on. Yeah.
So he is more cautious, of course, and keeps his smartphone's location on so his friends can know where he's at all times.
That's smart.
Yeah. Share your location.
I remember I had this whole employee meeting with I think I had 40 employees in there, and I was going on my second date with Joel, and it was like, what do I do if Joel's gonna murder me? Like, what happens if I'm in a murder situation? And I took feedback.
That's good.
Hey. And keeping the GPS
location,
on your phone was number one, and
yeah,
I mean, it was mostly a joke, but kind of a little bit not a joke also.
No, absolutely.
Joel did not end up murdering me.
Yeah, you're married now, so it worked out.
Yeah, give it time. No, just kidding. If anyone's murdering anyone, I'm going to murder Joel. No, I love him. He just made me put rock in a trench today, and it was the worst.
Were you trying to hide something?
You better watch yourself, Caitlin. No, it's just to avoid flooding, whatever.
Responsible property owners. It has been difficult for Holden to keep a low profile since his story has been shared everywhere, including here. Sorry, Holden. Yeah. But his story actually should be shared, like the dangers of all of this. And
I think we're all scared of this whole situation happening to any one of us.
But he did receive $100,000 in donations to help with his medical bills.
Oh, well, that's good.
So, yeah, it has been helpful.
It probably didn't even fucking cover hardly any of it.
Probably not, unfortunately. So, he used to work at a local restaurant before the attack, but is struggling to find jobs now that could help with his physical limitations and actually work with his physical therapy appointments and college classes. Oh. So he's trying to, like, live on his own, but still, like, work and go to school and still be able to go to his physical therapy sessions. My gosh. Holden has regained about 85% of his grip strength in his dominant hand, but only 19% in his other. Oh. So that's hard.
Well, I mean, at least it's his dominant hand, but still.
Yeah.
Like,
so
chance.
I know, right? So he is going to get his bachelor's degree and become a teacher, a drama teacher. But his ultimate goal is to become an actor. Same. He states, "I'm not going to let anything stop me from getting where I want to be. I want to be an actor. That's really the end goal. But if that doesn't work, I can still teach."
That's right. Holden is a survivor.
He is. So Holden is still demanding justice, but would not seek the death penalty against him.
Do we know, like, where Chance ended up? I mean, I'm presuming he's still in jail. You got some more to this story.
It's still going.
Okay.
He states, "I don't wish death on him. I have remorse for him. Anyone with mental illness needs help. No sane person would do something like that to another person."
Yeah.
It's true, though.
Well said, Caitlin. And Holden.
Yeah. So the FBI is now actually they took over the investigation. The FBI did. And
is it because Chance has killed more than once, or attempted to kill more than once?
Girl, look at you. Just wait. So a federal grand jury on March 18th, 2021, so this year, returned with 6-count indictment charging Chance with hate crime, kidnapping, firearm, and obstruction charges based on his attempted murder of Holden.
Okay.
It seems Chance had a scheme to kidnap and murder gay men he met online.
Oh, gosh. So he's kind of a serial...
The indictment alleges, everyone's proven till guilty, so it's still an open case, so it's allegedly that on June 19th and 20th, 2020, Chance attempted to kidnap one man and successfully kidnapped 2 other men through his use of Grindr. It further alleges that the defendant intended to dismember and keep parts of the victims' bodies as trophies, mementos, and food.
What? Food?
Yeah.
He was gonna eat them?
Allegedly.
What the fuck, Caitlin? Oh, that took it a whole new level.
He tried to cover up his actions by deleting conversations between himself and the victims.
Oh, you can't delete shit anymore.
I know, right?
The NSA's got all that.
One of his social media profiles actually is, the profile pic is Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's not creepy at all.
No. After his indictment, Holden states he is getting what he deserves and justice will continue to be served.
I am shocked he turned himself in, frankly.
So he pled not guilty and called 911 in self-described effort to be put in a mental institution. So he called pretty much saying, I'm crazy
right now.
I killed someone. I'm crazy. Come get me. You know? So that's his attempt to plead insanity, pretty much.
Wow.
So trial in the federal court is now set for March 14th, 2022.
Oh, dang. That's a ways away.
It is a ways away.
I'm surprised. Aren't they supposed to like get them done within a certain amount of time?
Oh no, the criminal justice system is long and exhausting. Exhausting, because I've been with victims who it was a year until we went to trial.
Oh wow.
And it was just a long time. It's really like this person's schedule, trying to get discovery, doing more investigating. So it
takes a long time.
Yeah, especially if he's playing a Sandy, there could be evaluations done, and that takes a while too. So it's just a bunch of different things.
Dang, I was not in the know.
Especially in Oregon, I know, but they have to go under a psychosexual evaluation to see if they're a danger to the community or they're a probability of offending again. And those take up to like 3 months to do. So it's so much shit that people have to go through. So,
well, I just remember we were talking about another victim, but I remember she had to go to trial like numerous times. You told a story about her, and she just had to keep reliving it and reliving it and reliving it. And it's like, oh my God, I think he had a bunch of appeals or something like that. And then she had to go back for every single appeal, and it's just like, just seems
tiring.
Like torture almost again.
It's just reopening the wounds over and over again. Have to relive it. It's just terrible. So, especially if it's an FBI investigation, I can only imagine how long this is going to take. But so the maximum for hate crimes, kidnapping, and firearm offenses is life imprisonment. And for obstruction of justice is 20 years. So he's looking for a very long time in prison. Yeah. So good justice should be served. And I'm glad they added the hate crime to it, because if that was his plan, like he already did that to 2 other people trying to kidnap them.
He's
it's like
seeking out gay men. I mean, it feels a little bit like a hate crime.
Exactly. So Holden, I'm so sorry this happened to you, but it sounds like I don't know. He's just like a more calm person, I guess. Maybe not more anxiety.
Well, it's like, I've been through this.
Yeah.
What the fuck else can happen?
Exactly.
Come on.
And the way that he could stay calm through this whole thing is so incredible, and that he's strong and brave, and he's amazing.
Sometimes I wonder if you have sort of glimpsed the other side, if that helps to bring some calm into your life. You know, it's like there's nothing beyond this.
That's true.
Something welcoming and calming, and
if he said he felt like a wave of peaceness over him, maybe he can channel that peaceness again. You know, like he felt the absolute calmness of life, so he's like, well, I can do that again, or not like again, but like he can channel that into like everyday life, maybe. I don't know, but he went through something traumatic, and for him to come out this other end still putting himself out there for dating apps, and also trying to be a calmer person, going to college and seeing his main goal of being an actor, like he has his sights on bigger things, which is amazing.
Yeah, I feel like he's only going to be successful.
Oh, I think so too.
You know,
absolutely.
And he just has such a, I don't know.
For being 18, well, now he's 19, but yeah, for having that, like, insight at that young age, like, I'm almost 30 and, like, ooh, you know?
Agreed, girl, agreed. Fucking 43, I feel it as well. No, I actually almost told a story about a near-death experience, you know, where they had passed over. I didn't this time. I almost did. And just because I just find something about that, you know, it's almost like your soul is coming to pick you up and to take you to this, like, I don't know,
other side.
Yeah, and it's just pure love, that
calmness, no pain, just bliss. Yeah, right.
So it just gives me hope for
for
the other side.
Kick the can, Michelle.
For when I kick the can. Thank you, Caitlin. That was very eloquent.
Yeah, thank you. I got a lot of those.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, my story is not about a near-death experience.
Well, what? It's about our survivors of near-death
Well,
experiences.
yeah, I guess so. No, I mean, she didn't actually die.
Well, no, he didn't die either.
Yeah, but she saw a white light and the whole thing. I feel like that's almost dying.
Okay, fair enough, yes.
I don't think she she did almost die, in fact.
It's a survival... Okay, what podcast do you think
I think we just need more drinks.
Okay, Michelle, it's your turn
All right.
What's your story?
Okay. Well, I'm taking us back to 2011 with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in Wyoming's Death Cannon.
Oh.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. I always like that. I don't know.
I know,
why.
you say... Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, if we ever come up with a cookbook or a cocktail cookbook, we're going to have to come up with a dun, dun, dun cocktail book.
I like it.
Anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. We actually braked for another drink. It was probably not... Yours is gone. Damn, girl.
I'm sorry.
You're not going to be able to go on that bike ride later. Poor thing.
Oh, thanks.
All right. So this story is about Lauren McLean. And she is actually from Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow. Hey, girl.
So, Lauren has spent lots of her vacations hiking and fly fishing and horseback riding. I mean,
she's outdoorsy.
She's an outdoorsy girl. That is exactly correct. And she was actually in college at the time, going to the University of Montana, and she took up rock climbing. Oh. And so she was all into that. Cool. And after graduating, she spent a few months backpacking in Alaska, and then took a summer job leading youth expeditions into the wilderness. So they were like Wilderness Ventures, an outdoor adventure company in Wyoming. And on one of these outings, she actually met mountaineer and extreme sports journalist Michael Ibarra. I apologize if it's Wybara. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm going to call him Ibarra. So Michael,
You're just Michael.
Yeah, just Michael, was 44, and he had actually discovered mountain climbing in his 30s and just really gotten into the sport. So he is fully into mountain climbing. In fact, he started taking expeditions out and having people mountain climb along with him, and he was their guide and that type of thing.
Oh, okay.
So he was pretty much always ready to hit the rocks, if you will.
Okay.
So
cute.
So Lauren told Michael that she was going to be heading out to this rugged Teton Range, and hopefully I said that right. It was a spot in Wyoming, and she essentially like, let's get together and do some climbing together.
Cool, yeah.
So they decided to meet in August of 2011 in this Death Cannon in Wyoming. So, and actually Lauren brought along with her another of the wilderness expedition instructors, Dana, who was actually 21 at the time. And so the two ladies headed off to Wyoming, into this spot in Wyoming, and then Michael met them there.
Oh, okay.
So, and they're gonna just go out and have this, it sounded like a pretty advanced mountain climb or rock climbing expedition.
Oh, okay.
So they're all very fit. They're all ready for a big challenge. Experienced. They've done quite a lot of rock climbing through the years. So Michael actually was especially good at leading complex climbs.
Oh.
Which is what this is. So I'm presuming that just means it takes a lot of equipment and it's very sheer.
The difficulty is
higher.
higher.
The difficulty is really high. And so he has gone to the Himalayas and the Andes. And I mean, so he's gone all over the place. So he's got a lot of experience is kind of my point. So the trio, Michael, Lauren, and Dana, spent the first 3 days just going up and down all these very difficult rock faces. And on day 4, they decided to tackle the snaz.
Oh,
I'm saying that right. S-N-A-Z, snaz.
Sounds good.
It is a route on the south side of a formation known as the Cathedral Buttress. So I don't really know what that means. I'm just assuming it's tall and high, maybe has a pinnacle.
So they've climbed 4 days in a row.
This is day 4.
Oh, so
yes.
3 days in a row. I feel like I would be super sore
Yeah.
after day 2.
Yeah, are you kidding me? I'd be down for the count after the first hour of day 1. Be like, well, it turns out this is not for me.
Yeah, right.
Our trio of rock climbers start out at dawn, hiking through the Death Cannon. So, and apparently the Death Canyon is named this because there was an explorer that vanished back in 1899. So it's not that like a ton of people have died in this canyon, just the one.
Okay.
It sounds like. So it's not quite as scary, perhaps, as it sounds.
All right.
They reached the base of the cliff at 8 a.m. And so they got themselves in their harness. They got themselves all tied up with their nylon ropes, and they began their 1,800-foot ascent up.
Whoa.
They would take it in 9 stages, and each of these 9 stages, I guess, is called a pitch. So, which I think will come into play later. So I think they sort of go up and go up one pitch, as they say. They can take a break. They sort of reset all of their equipment and then head up again. So that's my understanding and my very limited of knowledge.
I mean, it sounds good to me. So.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about rock climbing, but here we are.
I did get to go at the rock climbing place here in Salem.
Oh, yeah.
I did level 0. And that's all I could do. It's hard.
It is hard, man. I think I went to a kid's playground once and I was like, boo, whatever. It's like 10 feet. And I was like, holy shit, this is way harder than I thought.
Yeah, no, it was hard.
Yeah. So, well done, guys.
Yeah.
I guess ultimately they were planning on climbing 9,600 feet.
Whoa.
So that is this whole...
That's a long way.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost 10,000 feet up,
Ooh.
like, for heaven's sakes. Michael climbed first.
Okay.
And each time he would sort of reset his ropes and he would cram I guess it's pittons. It doesn't say that here. But he had, all this equipment that he would cram into the rock that would hold their ropes and everything. So if one of them actually did fall, they wouldn't free fall down to the bottom. As it says, such devices are meant to prevent climbers from falling too far if they lose their footing. So when he finished a pitch, Dana and Lauren would follow afterwards using his safety equipment that he left behind. And then once they got all to the top, he would sort of reset his safety equipment and then they would start moving up again. He would go first and then the two would follow. Once they started following behind, he would sort of manage their ropes for them, all that extra rope, which is called belaying, I guess. So he's sort of pulling the loose rope up as they're climbing so they don't have all this like crap behind them, I guess. So he reeled in the slack as the women sort of got into their position. And then he would climb up to the next pitch and then it would all start again. So they're just taking it stage by stage. So on this particular day, the day was gorgeous and everything was going really smoothly. As the hours wore on, though, the mood of the group sort of shifted. They were all really excited, and I think sort of as the day wore on, they got more anxious and more... Agitated, and this says grimly determined.
Oh, okay.
So they could actually start seeing dark clouds coming on the horizon. And so around 4 o'clock, they were like, we better start sort of hustling. We gotta get going faster because we're just gonna get caught in this deluge of rain that's on the way.
I feel the same way about road trips. Like, I'm super excited, and after hour 3 or 4, I'm like, I am done.
This wasn't as fun as I thought.
Yeah. I just want to get to my destination.
Yeah. And the idea that I have another 5 hours in the car makes me want to murder everybody.
Exactly. But I'm just sitting in a car, so I'm not climbing. So I can only imagine.
Well, and I'm sure at this point they're tired. Yeah. I mean, this is day 4 of their trip, and they've got a lot of hiking in front of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So Michael was like, let's get this done before it starts pouring on us. So there was 2 possible routes for them to go for this last pitch. It started on a narrow ridge, and as was his practice, Michael opted for the more difficult one, which makes me want to murder him just right here. It required the 3 of them to scale a 9-foot overhang. So they had to sort of come out from the mountain face and then sort of climb over. So they weren't just climbing up, they're climbing out and up. Over. Yeah, exactly. And at this point, the lightning starts. So they've got lightning
no.
crackling down on him. And unfortunately, they knew, just being these, with all of their metal equipment and everything, that they were just targets sitting on the side of a freaking mountain sheer. So Lauren pushed herself off the wall and then dangled next to Dana. So the two ladies sort of discuss how they're going to get up and over this little ridge that they have to do. So Lauren was like, why don't you try shimmying up my rope? And when you get to the top, tell Michael to put down the rope, and then I'll be able to get up a little bit more easily.
Okay.
So Dana heads up. So at this point, Lauren is just sort of swinging off the side of the road, or off the side of the mountain, just hanging out in all of her harnesses and things. And Dana is heading up the side. She ends up managing to haul herself over this like protrusion that's hanging off the side of the mountain face. And she tells Lauren, I'll see you soon. And then she clears it. And then Michael, who's sitting on the top of this little protrusion, sees her and was like, where the fuck is Lauren? Like, why is it just you? So he's a little bit startled and a little bit taken aback. I think he was expecting both of them to be able to get up quickly. And now he's realizing that Lauren is still down there hanging off the side. So he's going to
mansplain on how
probably a little bit. No, I'm sure Michael is not mansplaining. So he's like, we need to get her out of there. The rain's going to come. The wind is shifting. We've got this lightning coming. He's got this sort of gadget on the side, on his waist, that is what is keeping the two women, like, it's their safety rope. So he's got it around his waist as well with like a pulley system.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and what it has is this auto locking device. So if it starts to sort of free fall, it just automatically grabs the rope.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, granted, it would probably pull Michael some, but at least it keeps them from free falling down to the bottom. And so he had rigged it to automatically clamp down if either of the women fell. But he was trying to hurry to reset the mechanism so it wouldn't fall, and he's, moving the ropes around. And as we know, Lauren is still sort of swinging at the bottom, and something happened where the end of the rope just sort of whoosh, and came out of the mechanism before it could clamp down.
Oh my gosh.
Dana's there and Michael's there, and they're just like, oh shit, as they're just watching the rope just sort of leave the pulley. And he was able to like grab it and break it, but at that point Lauren
It's too late.
had started falling.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Another free fall?
Free fall.
Oh no.
Lauren falls.
Yeah.
So her feet hit first, and they sort of strike rock with the force of a hammer blow, is what she said. And then she sort of topples onto her side and is now facing the side of the cliff. And what had happened is she had actually fallen onto this little tiny ledge. So there was this like ledge that was 1.5 feet off the side of the mountain, and she had fallen onto that.
Ooh.
But in the meantime, she had clearly like shattered at least one of her ankles. She thinks both of them are probably broken. And when she went to sort of reach out to grab the rope, she realized that maybe her back was broken as well. She had this shooting pain that went up her back, and she just didn't know what had happened. She saw that her ankles had already started swelling over the top of her boots, and ants began to swarm all over her. So,
why? You're like, this bitch is dead? Like,
I think there must have been like an anthill or something in this one particular spot that she landed on. And actually, that's when she reached forward to wipe the ants off, when she felt the excruciating pain in her spine. So I misspoke earlier. And then it started to rain.
Oh my
gosh. So she falls. She's barely hanging on.
Broken,
and now
covered in ants.
Covered in
wet. Oh my gosh.
Oh. So Dana and Michael are up top, still like, what the fuck just happened? And so they shout down, Lauren, are you okay? And after a long while, they hear, I'm not okay.
Aww.
Yeah. They were like, oh, okay. So Michael pulls out his cell phone and he calls 911.
Oh, good. Okay. His service and such.
Yeah, fortunately, because half the time in these stories, nobody's got
Exactly.
service. So he says they've got an injured climber. I'll tell you more when we have more details. And then what he did is he retied all of his own ropes and then started rappelling down to where Lauren was.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I'm sorry, Lauren. Clearly it was an accident, but it was, perhaps could have been prevented. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone fully knows what happened.
Yeah.
He said something messed up with the belay and are you hurt? And she's like, both of my legs and my feet and my back whenever I try to move. And he was like, how bad is your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? And she's like, 9.
Oh, wow.
It was probably like a 13.
Probably.
But Lauren stands strong. He's like, we're going to try to get you taken care of. There's no phone reception on the side of the mountain where you are.
But
so
we did call it in up beforehand.
Yeah, but we called up ahead. He climbed back up and he was able to talk to the ranger again and let him know Lauren's condition and everything. And unfortunately, there was a lot of things that prevented a rescue. So it's getting later in the day. Mm-hmm. At this point, it's like 4:55 and they can't go out after dark. Okay. It's just too dangerous to send a helicopter out after dark. So they're trying to sort of mount this rescue with this huge storm coming in. Dark is coming. And so they're trying to sort of get it done as quickly as they can, which was sort of what led to this whole thing in the beginning. Everyone was trying to hurry to get up and out of the rain and the lightning, and probably ended up with some mistakes in the safety equipment. So he rappelled down again, and he gave his phone to Dana and then came down and to sit next to Lauren.
Aww.
And so he was just sort of cradling her while he's like on the sheer cliff face. Right. I mean, because there's no room for him.
It's only the foot.
Yeah, it's her and that's it. So he's hanging off this way that she had been earlier. And he was like, would it help if I distracted you? Do you want me to talk to you about your childhood? And she's like, no.
Please don't.
I need to focus on my breathing because it's the only way that I'm able to manage the pain.
Aww,
yeah, she was in incredible pain. Michael fell silent and cradled Lauren as she just essentially lay there broken, and he's hanging over the abyss, and she rolls too much. She's down for the count. Yeah. So all the while, we have a rescue expedition being mounted. And so they're getting all the people together to try to figure out how to get a helicopter out to them. Unfortunately, the scouting crew brought back some worrying news that the thunderstorms were nearby, and it wasn't clear whether the angle of the cliff would allow the rotors of the helicopter to have enough room to even get close enough to get to them. Otherwise they're going to be just crashing into the side of the mountain. And of course it's getting later and the sunlight would be gone by 9, and at this point we're like 5 o'clock or so, and they're still trying to figure it. So they've got a little bit of time, and so they decided they're just going to give it a go and just hope for the best. And if they have to turn around and come home, they will, but they're gonna try.
That's good.
All the while, Lauren is essentially preparing to spend the night on the cliff. I know. Gosh.
I sprained my back recently playing softball, and that was really painful. So I can imagine a broken back and 2 broken ankles.
I know. Well, I had stepped on a rake and sprained my ankle, and I was just like, well, I'm done forever. Yeah. Like, this is the worst. So at 7:45, Dana, who's sitting up on top, starts to hear the drone of the helicopter.
Oh, it's coming.
And she said watching the ranger sort of float down in front of her was one of the most surreal experiences that she had ever had. The guy named Ryan Schuster, came down, and he had a large gear bag, and he started inspecting the site and reinforcing all of the climbing anchors that they had already put in. So he went through and sort of made sure everything was safe once more, and then left. And then came back, and they had actually put another ranger on the top of the hill, or on top of the peak, I guess, where Dana was. And they had a park medic there. And then they actually had medical equipment, food, warm clothing, and sleeping bags.
Aww.
So they were prepared to have to be able to drop all this off and get out of there quickly if need be before they actually rescued her. But fortunately, they were able to rappel down the cliff and reach Lauren and Michael. And at that point, it was a little bit after, it was almost 8:30.
Oh, wow.
So they're right on the edge.
Yeah.
They check her vital signs. They splinted the worst of the two ankles, her left ankle. They tried to see if she had any other broken bones, which they would set later. And then they decided, you know what, we got to get her off the cliff face. Like, she can't stay here anymore.
Yeah.
With the approaching storm, they decided that they were going to just go for it. They were going to try to rescue her. They were going to be quick and precise. Get in, get out, get her out of there. So they decided to try to squeeze the helicopter down in between these rocks and just sort of hope that the wind remained calm.
Sure.
So they had a guy come down. They told Lauren, we're going to put you in a screamer suit. And she's like, why do you guys call it a screamer suit? And he's like, well, you'll see soon enough.
Oh, great. Okay.
And so they strapped her into this rigid suit that had a ring in front to attach to a carabiner, which then the chopper is hanging above that. So they put her into a suit and they attach her to the helicopter, and off she goes over the abyss.
Oh my gosh.
And so she's like swinging in just free air at this point. And she said she did in fact feel like screaming, but it was more screams of joy rather than pure fear. That would not be the case with me.
No, right?
Mine would be screaming of pure fear.
Like they named it after that. How you feel.
I just wonder if people have actually been like screaming as they're like rocking back and forth. Yeah, that sounds scary as shit. But she did say that the sunset was one of the most beautiful that she had ever seen in her life.
Oh, way to look at the bright side of things.
I know. Good job. So they took her to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, to a hospital there. And that's where Lauren learned that she had broken both of her legs, both of her feet, her pelvis, and a vertebrae in her lower back.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
Her whole lower body is just shattered. The damage to her left foot was so severe that they thought they were going to have to amputate it.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they gave her a dose of morphine to help her sleep. And the next morning, she was flown to the University of Utah Hospital in Salt Lake City, where she underwent 4 hours of surgery to try to fix her mangled foot. When she awoke, she was relieved to find her foot still there.
Yay!
So she was able to keep her foot. But surgeons said that it was too early to determine whether, how she was going to do in the long term. 3 days later, Lauren's father had come in from Portland and spent quite a few days with her in the hospital room. And a month into her rehab, she asked her dad to put her old bike onto a stand for her to exercise on. Apparently, what the orthopedist had told her is that she would never run again, and she would probably never even be able to walk up a steep hill, really.
Aww.
And she decided to prove him wrong.
Oh,
She was like, fuck that guy. Even so, though both of her legs were still in casts or partial casts, she pedaled every day on that stationary bike.
Wow.
And then when the cast came off, she threw herself into physical therapy. So in January of 2012, 6 months later, she actually took off to New Zealand for like a hiking trip.
Holy cow!
So she's feeling much better. And then by May, she was back at rock climbing.
Wow.
So I know, good for her. So she actually went back to the mountains in Montana, and actually she went back to, or she took another job leading youth expeditions. She went to Fiji where she taught herself to surf.
Oh,
my
snap.
God. And she actually had the goal of redoing that climb with Michael.
Whoa.
But actually, unfortunately, that will remain unfulfilled because Michael died on a solo climb of July.
My gosh.
I know. Oh, of July of 2012. He fell from a almost 200-foot cliff in Yosemite.
Oh my gosh.
She says his death is still hard to process. He was one of the strongest climbers she had ever seen.
What the fuck, Michelle?
I know, I'm sorry. So Michael didn't survive later.
What?
But Lauren survived.
What? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
She says, as far as her own near-death experience, she was more determined than ever to make every minute count.
Oh.
And she tries to keep a good attitude, go slowly and methodically, and you can get through anything. Actually, she says get through it all.
Aww.
I switched it up a little bit.
That's fine.
But I think the sentiment is the same.
That's amazing. Way to prove people wrong.
I know. Fuck all y'all.
Right?
I'm going to do everything I want. Good job.
Good job. Wow.
I would be done with rock climbing forever.
You think
personally. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was stuck in an elevator. I'm pretty done with those for
yeah, forever.
Yeah.
Till I make you come, Caitlin, get in this elevator with me.
Yeah, you pay me.
Yeah. I'll take the stairs, bitch. I see where you're going with this.
That's super awesome yet super sad. I guess, okay, I can't say anything because my last story was about falling and someone else, passed away. So I can't.
So there, Caitlin.
I know, I'm sorry. But, wow.
I know. It'd be hard to lose somebody, especially doing something that they were so good at.
Yeah.
You would think nothing can touch them.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's why all my activities
are pretty safe.
Pretty safe, yeah. I probably won't die. Like podcasting. I mean, unless we drink too much, which
it's
is possible. But
I think it's a long ways away from where we are actually drinking.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean, that
Absolutely.
peach schnapps bottle is almost gone, but we don't need to get into that.
Peach schnapps is like 2%,
That's exactly correct.
Sure.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, you're welcome. Drink responsibly, everyone.
Yeah.
Drink responsible. I think Nick will be able to save us anyways. He's always listening in the background.
Wow. Good times.
I just love hearing how all these survivors just overcome everything and just show up everyone. All the my bones were broken. Yeah, look, I'm still climbing.
Yeah.
I'm still doing all this stuff, and here we are drinking, sitting on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So good for you guys. Oh my goodness.
You guys are killing it a little bit more than we are. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Maybe a little. Yeah. But we have good things going.
That's right, Caitlin. We sure do. Oh my God, I thought we just lost power.
No.
Sorry.
Well, those are really good stories, and I'm just really happy about this podcast always having a happy ending.
For the most part,
yeah.
I mean, poor Michael.
Poor Michael.
Blows.
Oh my gosh. Terrible. Well, poor Edgar last time too. It's just tragedy, But these survivors, take that tragedy and gain something out of it, I guess.
Agreed. I do sometimes. Well, never mind. I won't
Say
go
it.
into
It's
how.
gonna cut out. Anyways.
I feel like your soul is going to intercede on your behalf. If you're not growing in the way or becoming more.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. If you're not becoming more, your soul's going to come in and be like, you better fucking get to being better.
Right.
And we'll fuck up your whole life for you. I explained that very badly. But
I get
to
it.
sort of get you back on track.
Yeah.
And to get you growing again.
Yeah.
And being all that you can be.
I like that.
Because that's my feeling is the whole point of being alive.
I mean, all this is a simulation anyways.
Girl, you don't even know. It's all a hologram.
Birds aren't real.
Totally what was our talks about.
Really?
It's all of it. None of it, it's all an illusion. What is real is the emotions and...
Well, why is it all about money then?
Because that's what it isn't all about money. And money is an illusion. It's just another energy like anything else.
Fuck. Well, I'm so glad everything turned out pretty good, at least at the end, you know, and hopefully we will keep updated on Holden's story.
Well, it sounds like Holden and Lauren are back at it.
Yeah.
Freaking living their lives and being awesome.
Exactly, and hopefully he doesn't come back to testify too many times for this.
I hope not either.
Holden. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this episode, and catch us on Instagram and Facebook, on our website, IshouldTotallyBeDeadRightNow.com. And yeah, we would love to hear from you about any drink suggestions, or if you just want to say hey, you know, we're nice people.
You know what? We drink whiskey for all you a-holes.
We hate whiskey, and we're trying to expand our horizons.
Yes.
So everyone can enjoy these drinks.
So there you go.
There you go.
Right,
Whiskey.
Dumb faces.
All right.
Ugh.
Thank you. Okay, goodbye.
All right, good night.